So maybe you are in the market for a more compact, handheld e-reader with e-ink, both color or your traditional black and white. Or maybe you wanted to get something to remove yourself from the smartphone addiction that's plaguing you and have an e-reader that also doubles as a phone. And with that, you came across the Bigme HiBreak, a phone that lets you what the does it let you do? You know, I should have took the name as a warning, an omen, perhaps. Hi, break. It is now high broken. And I bought this device 2 weeks ago to de-smartphone my life, to be a little bit more present, to be more intent and purposeful with the things I do and not be so distracted. And I thought this would be perfect for it because being it's an e-ink display, I did get the color variant, not the black and white. I felt that it would be clunky enough to discourage me from using apps or distracting apps and make it so that, I put the things that I need, which was email, some WhatsApp, Telegram, my Kindle, my Kobo, and I wouldn't have it in my hand and I wouldn't be distracted. Now, full disclosure, 2 weeks ago, this thing worked perfectly. I had full access to the App Store. You could put anything you want on it, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anything you wanted. But when it comes to like the social media aspect, obviously the experience isn't going to be that great on an e-ink display, so it's going to discourage you from using those apps. And that was my intent. And for the most part, everything was fine. The actual quality of the display itself, is decent enough, especially at that price point. I wasn't expecting anything crazy. The customization, a little bit clunky, but it allowed you to make some presets if you wanted a little bit more deep, vibrant colors with the color on the e-ink display. It allowed you to do that, but at the expense of, the ghosting and the shutter and the transition, as all e-ink displays have. Nothing is perfect, or you could kind of reverse it, have a little bit more smoother experience, but mute those colors. And I was enjoying the experience, but all of a sudden, did this update, and this is now a paperweight. It is pretty much useless. And if I didn't download the apps that I did, I would have zero ability to do anything but text and make phone calls. There is no Bigme app store, and even if there was a third-party app store from China, I probably wouldn't be comfortable putting any of my personal information into these things to allow me access to my mail or my Kobo books or what have you, or my WhatsApp. There's nothing. And I have no access to Maps, to Gmail, to the Play Store. Not only that, the experience, the software experience that I had mentioned wasn't the best, is now unbelievably worse. With this update, the preset, the customization, and the e-ink center that allowed you to, pick the colors, or the transition speeds, or the shutter, or the ghosting, whatever, it will reset itself randomly throughout the day. So I'll make my adjustments the way I want it, and I'll go, and then all of a sudden the phone just becomes very clunky, very slow, and I go and look, and everything's been reset to something that the phone has chosen. Not only that, my home screen, for whatever reason, it likes to move certain apps or certain folders to different parts of the screen, so it won't even let me put an app in a certain section anymore, and if I happen to get something there, it will at a random time readjust and throw things and scatter things around. The experience on the phone and the software has become really distracting. Ghosting is huge, the burn-in is huge, the shutter is huge, and if I get my preset set, it does not last. The second I turn the screen off and go back onto the phone, it has reset, and it is very clunky. At the end of the day, this is a perfect example of you get what you pay for. There isn't really anything on the market that doubles as a compact e-reader that's e-ink, that's also a phone. There is the Books, I think Palma, that's literally kind of very similar to this, but it's not a phone. And I do believe there is one more e-ink display that's a phone, but it's about double the price. And I did go to this because I thought for the price point and for what you were getting, I don't need perfection. I really don't. And I just needed something that allowed me to get access to certain apps and, I could go about my business. I bought this 2 weeks ago. I messaged Bigme. I did not get a response back. Radio silence. I've never dealt with this company before. I know it's a fairly decent size company. They sell some volume. Do I have confidence that they're going to fix this? Possibly, probably. I most likely think that they will. Do I have confidence that it's going to be in a timely manner? Absolutely not, because they haven't released any statements. I do think the issue is only on the color variant. I'm not sure if the black and white one is suffering this. I don't think so. At least from Reddit, what I'm reading, it's mainly affecting the color e-ink variants. I do know that Bigme is trying to release a HiBroken version 2 in the new year. So are they incentivized to work and fix this on the version number 1? Or are they just going to work on releasing the second phone and that's going to be what you're going to end up buying? I really don't know. And for me, if you're buying something as a primary device and you don't know if an issue arises, if it's going to get sorted out in a timely fashion or manner, I could never justify promoting or suggesting somebody spend their money on that item. So this is more of a buyer beware video. I highly doubt that they're going to ship any phones with the updated OS because that would make it totally useless. So at your own risk, maybe if you really want to take a shot, go for it. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't think it's a device you would trust as a daily driver, just because if by chance they do something that bricks the phone, who knows how long it's going to take for them to push out a proper update to fix it, or if it's going to get fixed at all, which is really disappointing because otherwise I was really enjoying using the phone. Build quality is not great. It's all plastic, a little bit of a texturized back here. Obviously, nobody's going to care about the camera. There was an action button here that allowed you to program 3 different fast action, 1 long press, 1 press, and a double press. You could kind of customize it the way you wanted. An issue I had with that side button is it's not elevated enough to have a little bit of tactility to press it. You kind of have to fidget around to actually find it to press it. So the buttons, there's stuff to be desired. But again, you get what you pay for. I was not expecting anything crazy in terms of the build quality. The screen was decent enough. But as of now, after using it and not being able to get a response from Bigme, and now I think it's been about a week since I updated the phone with no notification, no nothing really. Just kind of, you have to look on your own on Reddit. Nobody's really found a workaround for it yet. Buyer beware of the Bigme HiBroken. Avoid this like a man in the bushes wearing a trench coat with perhaps nothing underneath. You're welcome. Until next time.